First public company that's defined in section 271. In this definition, public company means a company which is not a private company. This definition is statutory definition defined by Companies Act 2013. If a company is a private company, no doubt that's not treated as a public company, has a minimum paid up share capital as prescribed. Minimum paid up share capital rules applicable before 2015, and prior to 2015 the minimum capital required for registration as a public limited company 5 lakh rupees. But after the amendment introduced in the year of 2015, this limit obsolete and no any such limit nowadays applicable on the companies. Any paid up capital is a sufficient paid up capital for obtain the certificate of incorporation being a public limited company. And a subsidiary company, even if it maintains private company status in its article, is considered a public company under this act. When it is a subsidiary of public company, the automatically status of the company considered from the status of holding company. Section 3(1) states that a public company may be formed for any lawful purpose. Purpose basically define which type of companies you incorporate or the association resulted in which form. Lawful purpose are the basic condition to settle any association, or law only protect those activities of the association which are lawful, and any unlawful activity attract the legal provisions, and the punishments are also applicable if any activity is categorized as unlawful activity. Here 7 or more persons required to incorporate a company as a public limited company, and to constitute a board of directors in a public limited company, minimum 3 directors required as per section 149 of the Companies Act, and there is no restriction on the maximum number of directors. Limit of maximum numbers no doubt applicable, that's 15, but this limit may be increased with the permission of central government as and when required. On the requisition of the company, central government may grant permission to increase the limit of maximum in a company of the for the directors. Liability of each shareholder is limited. Again, I emphasize on this point, limited word indicates that you are only liable up to your investment part. If you are ready to buy 1000 share of any company and the value, nominal value of each share is 10,000 rupees, it means you need to be pay here 10,000 rupees. If you pay the entire amount of this 10,000 rupees in one instance, then liability comes to be an end. Liability only up to your unpaid share part. It means you pay the 10 rupees as a whole, there is no liability. If you pay partial amount, so you will be liable for the remaining amount, and the paid amount, if you pay entire amount, there is no any liability. So investment decides how much share you decide to buy, how much shares you agree to subscribe. So limited liability means your investment part. No restriction on the maximum number of members that can be allowed in a public company up to unlimited extent. The condition only applicable on minimum 7 persons required, and there is no limit on maximum number of persons. Share may be listed on stock exchange, that is not an essential condition. If you require to be registered, you register the stock exchange. If you decide not to be registered in the stock exchange, that's your own sweet will. But if you registered in stock exchange, that stock exchange rules and regulations are applicable on the listed securities, and guidelines of SEBI also applicable on such companies which apply for listing of their securities in the stock exchange. And you are here supposed to be mention name. In the name clearly indicate that the company member's liability is limited. Along with your name you clearly mention that liability of member is limited. If you only use word limited, that's supposed to be a public limited. If the company is incorporated as a private limited, you need to be there clearly mention the company is private limited.